How we doing, YouTube? Pratap here, Next Gen Rehab. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be going over some of the pros and cons of being a kinesiologist. Now, in some of my other videos, I went over is it worth it to get a kinesiology degree, what you can expect after getting a kinesiology degree. So go ahead and look back on some of those videos. But today, I actually wanted to specifically talk about being a kin and some of the pros and cons that come with it. So, obviously, with kinesiology, you do need to spend some time in school. You got to get your bachelor's degree. It takes about 4 years, plus or minus, depending on if you choose to do any work experience, which again, I highly do recommend. And once you're finished, then you're basically in the work field. So, first and foremost, getting out into the work field is it's pretty competitive. You got to imagine how many kids are coming through your degree. Um, Everyone's shooting for the same thing, and if you're not planning on attending postgraduate school, then trying to get work is going to be a little bit of a challenge, right? So just keep that in mind. Like I said in my previous video, the best way you can put yourself ahead is doing some sort of internship before you graduate, and that way you have some connections and some experience to use when you do get out into the workforce, potentially getting rehired back, and putting yourself ahead of someone that does not have that same experience. Now, this would probably be one of the bigger cons, right? Just the fact that you have such a big um, you have such a big uh, group of people that you're competing with for work. One, two, because you're fresh out of school, your pay grade isn't going to be that high, and that's just expected with any workforce job. You're going to be working some pretty tough hours to begin with. I know when I first started, while I was initially building my clientele, I would be seeing a few patients here and there. It wouldn't be full days, definitely not. It would be more so working 3-4 hours at most a day. Maybe sporadic clients throughout the day. Morning obviously is the time that you do potentially see more, but it's the evening time, that after work rush, where you do plan on seeing more clients. It does get similar to if you've ever done personal training, in the sense of setting a schedule, because again, you have to go off of your clients, and most clients are working people, so it's going to take a little bit more time for them to or rather it's going to take more time for you to actually build that clientele up, so you do build your or fill in your spaces throughout the day. So keep that in mind. The beginning is a little bit challenging in that end, but one of the benefits is if you do work in a clinic, you can get a lot of referrals, right? So this also happened with me. A lot of my referrals that ended up building up my schedule did come from some of the other practitioners I worked with. So that includes chiropractors, massage therapists, physiotherapists. So they were able to actually give me clients, and that was one of the pros that helped build my clientele. And eventually, I was able to get to pretty close to a full workload, giving myself periodic breaks in between. But essentially, I had that standard 8 to 4, 8 to 5 day, with a good lunch break and a pretty good stack of clients going back to back. So that I would consider one of the pros. Another good thing about kinesiology is it does expose you to real life experience in the field, obviously, right? So if you're planning on going ahead and doing some graduate school after that, it really forces you to put what you learned in school from a anatomical standpoint, biomechanics, rehabilitation standpoint. You're in the field with a lot of great experts, so you're able to ask a lot of people what's going on, what you can expect. You can get some advice on postgraduate work, so that's definitely a bonus. Another drawback, I would say, coming out of school, obviously, is going to be some of the debt that you're going to carry. So most programs are pretty different, but it's safe to say, if you're taking a loan out, if you're planning on going for the full 4 years, you're looking at anywhere from 25, potentially 35, $40,000, depending on the school and the area you live in. And so that's a pretty big chunk of change. So just working to pay that back is a little bit of a challenge. Again, you're working at minimum wage, or pretty close to, while you're working on building up your reputation and potentially getting raises along the way. But the nice pro, if we're looking at that end again, is once you do build up your reputation, you are able to contract yourself out. You can start charging different rates as your experience grows, And there are a fair amount of kinesiologists out there that after establishing themselves for a period of 5 years, 10 years, they do become a lot more reputable, right? And people, clients will start adhering to working with you. If any issues come up, they'll start referring family, friends, and eventually, depending on what field you're looking to get into, some people sign on with sports teams, some people will go ahead and open their own clinic. So in that sense, kinesiology can be really rewarding. Again, if you enjoy working with people, it's a big bonus for sure, because that's pretty much what you're doing all day. You get to hear different stories, you get to see the progress of an individual coming in with a certain injury and eventually leaving your care and going back out into the world based on some of the things that you helped teach them. So that's always a positive and a rewarding thing to see. If we're looking at much further down the road, if you do decide to open up your own clinic, hiring a team on and becoming a mentor, these are all things that you can potentially look forward to in the kinesiology field as well. But again, this does come along with experience. This comes along with you being able to build up clientele, you being able to learn, attending workshops, going to seminars, but eventually it can pay off, right? And so these are just some of the things that you can start looking forward to. Again, running a clinic is a whole another challenge in itself. So potentially, reaching out to people that have had clinics to get a little bit more insight into what that's like may be beneficial for you. But at the end of the day, it's really more so just testing the waters, seeing what you like while going through school, spending as much time with mentors and people that have actually gone through it as you can. So that will give you a better sense of what to expect in the field, and especially trying to get some more experience before you actually graduate is probably the number one thing that I can recommend. So hopefully that video helps out. Once again, my name is Pratap from Next Gen Rehabilitation. Let me know in the comment section if you did enjoy this video. Give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone that you think might find it useful, and let me know on future videos that you would like to see. Take care for now.